Today is a really special day because it's the first time that I'm doing a video about something that was sent to me by the company that makes it in order to do a review of it. And I know that probably doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but it's just a milestone for this YouTube channel that companies actually want me to review their gear and will send me the gear to do videos about. So why am I telling you all of this? With all of that being said, I just want you to know that you're always going to be hearing my voice on this channel. If a company says, we'll give you money, just give us a good review, or you can keep the gear, just give us a good review, that is something that will never ever happen on this channel, and you can rest assured that you're always getting my opinion. So now that we've gotten all that boring honesty crap out of the way, this is the Smallrig Heavy Duty Fluid Head Tripod AD-013751. Can we just stop with the number naming schemes of everything? Not just Smallrig. I'm talking about gear companies, tech companies, camera companies. If the name of your product is like 15 numbers long, nobody's gonna remember it. Nobody can relate to it. And now, when somebody walks up to me and they're like, hey, that bag is pretty cool, what is that? I don't know. I've just owned it for 3 years, but I don't know the name of it because the name is long and forgettable. For simplicity's sake, we're just gonna call the tripod that I'm reviewing today the Smallrig AD-01 because that's what it's named on Amazon if you were to search for it. If you do go on Amazon to purchase this tripod, it's going to run you $169.99 USD. And I think that price tag of $170 is about fair. You're not only getting a tripod here, you're also getting a good fluid head, you're getting all the accessories to use everything properly, and you're getting a bag to carry everything in. One of the first things that really impressed me about this tripod is just how light it is. I have owned other full-sized heavy-duty tripods before, and they were like twice or 3 times as heavy as this one is. And I'll be honest, how light it was actually worried me at first. Normally I equate weight with quality, especially when we're talking about gear or tech. If something's heavier, it's normally built a little bit better. That really isn't the case with the AD-01. This thing is really light and it's still really well built. And this is just my opinion, and I'm talking about for the price, it's really well built. Of course, it's not going to compete in build quality with like a Sackler or Flowtech.
Oh my God.
However, for $170, the Smallrig AD-01 is really well built and it does its job. And not to go on about it, but I was really impressed by how inexpensive this thing is. First of all, Smallrig is a well-known brand. Second of all, I've owned tripods like this before, and the last one that I owned was twice as expensive and twice as heavy, and the build quality was pretty much the same. As for the measurements of this tripod, when it's at its shortest, it is 33 inches or 83 centimeters, and when it's at its tallest, it's 73 inches or 185 centimeters. And my only complaint with the height of this thing is not on the high end where it's taller than I am, so it's higher up than I would ever need. It's actually on the low end. When it's at its shortest, it's still as tall as my waistline, so I wouldn't be able to get any lower if I needed to with this tripod. I would need an entirely different tripod because this one has a leg spreader, so the legs can't fan out any further. And the legs on this thing are rock solid. Even though they're made of aluminum, they just feel really sturdy. At the bottoms, you'll find pivoting rubber feet so that if the ground that you're on is uneven, the tripod won't be. And the latches on the legs also feel sturdy. Even though they're plastic, you can actually adjust them to be tighter in case your camera is a little bit heavier or you just don't trust how loose they're getting. The last portion of this tripod is, of course, the fluid head, and it's pretty nice on this tripod. If you don't know what a video fluid head is, basically it just moves side to side or up and down very smoothly, and on nicer ones like the one we're talking about today, you can even adjust how much resistance there is. My only gripe with this tripod head is the quick release system, and it's not that there's anything inherently wrong with it. It didn't break, it didn't do anything weird. It just feels a little less nice than the rest of the tripod. Like, the mechanism feels a little less smooth than everything else does. And don't get me wrong, you might actually like the quick release on this thing. I just personally don't like how the button slides forward, and I can't really tell when it's actually released or not. And when you put the plate back in, you can't really tell if it's snapped shut or not. It's a weird system that I'm not really a fan of. Now, normally if you buy a tripod, you take the plate that comes with it, you attach it to the bottom of your camera, and now you can attach the camera to the tripod. But if you want to use, say, a different tripod immediately, or you want to use a gimbal, you might have to detach that plate and attach the plate that fits whatever other mount you're trying to go to. I don't do that, however. All my mounts, my tripods, my gimbals, whatever, all have the same quick release system built into them, and then my camera just needs to have one plate plate on the bottom of it, and I can snap it into whatever mount I want, whenever I want, and it only takes like a couple seconds to do. So why am I telling you all of this? Well, it just so happens that the Smallrig tripod takes the exact same plates as my DJI RSC2 gimbal, and my gimbal already has an aftermarket plate on it that is my quick release system. So I don't even need to buy anything new or take one of the little quick release pucks and stack it on top of the plate that came with this tripod. I can just take the plate out of my gimbal, put it in this tripod, and now the tripod is perfectly integrated into my quick release system instantly. I know that probably sounded really confusing, but it's pretty late and it made sense in my head, so I hope it made sense to you. So in closing, and given that this is a tripod and it's a very simple piece of gear, I don't really have much else to say about it, but I will say this. Smallrig made a good product with the AD-01. It's well built, it does its job, and it's reasonably priced. Also, I've only ever used small form factor travel tripods for most of my career with photo and video. And that means that most of my tripods have sacrificed performance in order to cut down on weight and size. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's exactly what travel tripods are for. They're smaller at the expense of performance. However, I am interested in switching back to a full form factor tripod just because they're bigger, they're sturdier, they stay in place easier, you can adjust the tilt of them. Sometimes my travel tripods are just crooked for no reason, like the shot is crooked even though the bubble level is not. That'll never happen on a full form factor tripod where you can tilt the head. But that's all I got for today. Thank you, Smallrig, for sending me this tripod to review. If you got something out of this, consider going down and hitting the like and the sub button. It means the world to content creators like me. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Sam Has a Spending Problem, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.